Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Grace for the Journey. I'm your host, Sharanda, and welcome to this safe space where we embrace life's path and uncover the beauty of healing together. So, if you have been here for a while, welcome back, welcome back. And if it is your first time, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. So, we are in the middle of a series where we're discussing worth, self worth, identity, and all the likes and the things that can actually affect it and what we sometimes use to depict our identity and our worth that we really shouldn't all the time, right? So, today we're going to be talking about something that has really and probably still is haunting some of us when it comes to moving forward and when it comes to our self worth and our identity. We are going to be talking about our past. Everyone has a past because yesterday was the past. You know, this morning was the past, an hour ago was the past. So everyone has a past, but you are not your past. The things that you did, the things that were done to you, the things you experienced, those chapters that you just want to rip out of the book, your own storybook, those things that you don't want to share, the things that you probably don't want to post, um, the things that we went through and that has helped to shape us into who we are and who we are becoming, the things that for some reason help us, or sometimes not good all the time, but the things that depict the way we make decisions and the way we see life and see people. And sometimes we get so caught up in it and so wrapped in it, it becomes who we are when it really should not. So, our past plays a role, whether good or bad, whether traumatic or peaceful. Our past does play a role in our story. Our past does play a role in our journey, but we are not our past. And I really like many people, like, if I could say this loud and clear, like, we are not our past. You are not your past, especially if your past is very dark and very traumatic. Um, you are not your past. You know, we all carry stories. Some of it is good, some of it is bad, some of it is very ugly. We all carry those stories, and they, like I just said, they do make up who we are, or they can help to shape us. You may have seen something that you really did not like in your, the way you were brought up. And so it could either shape you to become the same thing or shape you in the other direction where, this is not a way I want to bring up my kids. You might have experienced something very, very, very traumatic, and it may cause you, unfortunately, to look at a certain sex a particular way, to look at a certain people in certain professions a particular way. So there's many things that we have been through that shape the way we act, shape the way we operate, shape the way we think. Some of it is good and some of it is not so good, right? And what I want to get across is that the danger with the past is that when we start to believe that that's who we are. Yes, you went through something, but you can overcome. Yes, it's been very hard. There's so many examples on social media that kind of relays like certain people from certain backgrounds and certain cultures, trying to move ahead and trying to move forward, but there's so much different backlash and so much different obstacles that are in the way. And to be sincere, it's hard to persevere. It's not like an easy persevere. Like, it's very hard to get through it. But they are striving and pushing to like push past, you know, the things that they went through. And sometimes it goes to the other extreme, but that's not the topic for today. Sometimes it goes into becoming like overachiever because you're like, there's this fear of I cannot be what I experienced, or I cannot become what I've seen in my family line. So sometimes it can go way on the other side, but a lot of times in the area that I'm going to focus on is when is literally holding someone back. The past is, they actually believe that they are not valued anything because maybe they were not brought up with somebody telling them that, hey, you're valuable, you're beautiful, you're worthy, you're blessed. They didn't not experience that. And because they didn't experience it, they're trapped, unfortunately, in this box when they really are in there. There's a desire to get out of it. There's a desire to move forward, but they're trapped in this box because that's all they've heard. And that may be all that they've experienced. And I now believe that this is who I am because this is what my past says. When there's a mistake made, like, and it could be a huge mistake, there's sins and then there's sins, there's wrongs and then there's wrongs. But even that, when God looks at us, no sin is greater than the other. And it's easy to say it, but do you really believe that? So somebody could committed a very petty crime, a very heinous crime, and if that person who committed the worst crime in the world could believe that, you know, I made a mistake and I'm forgiven and I can move on from this. If they could believe it, that person could actually move further than the one who made a little tiny mistake in society's eyes but doesn't believe that they can move on from it. They just believe that I made this mistake and I have to suffer all these consequences, and everything that does not go well in their life, or every time that they try to push forward and they can't push forward, they are blaming it on that mistake. And I am not making light of that state of mind and that state of being and that feeling like, I made this mistake and I feel really bad about this and I don't know how to get out of it. I'm not making light of it, but I'm here to say that I don't care what the mistake is. Like, you can move past it. It may be quite a journey. There might still be consequences involved, but you can definitely move past it if you can dare to believe that I am not my mistake. I made this mistake, but I am not the mistake and I am not the thing that happened. In their past, there may have been a season where you didn't recognize yourself. Whether that's physically, maybe we went through some physical challenges, whether it's mentally, whether it's emotionally. And every time you try to do something, your mind keeps going back to that person. But that was yesterday. Today's a new day. God's mercies are new every single morning. And it sincerely does not matter what you did yesterday. As long as you ask for forgiveness, your heart posture is right, and you want to move forward, then let's move forward. But we have to believe that in our hearts that we are not what we used to be. We are not what we did. We are not what we've seen. We are not what we've experienced. It plays a role, but that's not who we are. In my case, I went through a lot of grief in different ways. Not just, yes, with people and close loved ones, but not just that, just with so many different aspects of my life. But I have to realize that, yes, I went through grief, but that doesn't mean I must be in mourning with a you. I must not be in mourning from morning to night. No pun intended. But that doesn't mean I must just be sad all the time. I experienced a lot of hurt, but I don't want to walk around in that state of just being hurt, because you know the saying, hear it all the time, hurt people hurt people. So yeah, I experienced this, and yes, this happened to me, but how do I allow that to shape me into who I want to become? Do I allow it to just cause me to be in stagnation and just like not move forward, or can I allow it to help me change the way I think and help me understand people better who may be going through the same thing? Like, how am I allowing my past to depict my now and my future? I'm not grief, And I'm not going to be sad every single day of my life. Even in the state of grieving, like I had to find joy. Like there is still so many things to be joyful about because I refuse to just be, I don't think I was created to just wallow and just be sad and just cry all the time. And there was a stage that I just felt like this life is unfair. And why is this happening to me? And why do I have to experience this? And I would just keep looking back at all the negative things that has happened already and be like, I already went to that. I already went to this. And now what is this? So it just made me feel like this is just my life. Like it's just going to be sad. There's no happy ending here. But I didn't get out of it by myself, but I had to get out of that and actually believe that no, I'm not my past. My past plays a role in my life, but I'm not grief. I'm not sadness. I'm not sorrow. That's not what my life's supposed to look like. And it's a journey, obviously. It takes steps, it takes intentionality to actually work yourself out of it and allow God to help you out of it, allow other people to help you out of it, to get to the place of, yeah, I went through that, but I'm going to use it to help others. I won't hide it because I'm going to use it to show that those that may be experiencing the same thing or something similar that, yeah, you went through that, but don't stay down. Don't stay down. Get up, get yourself up, brush yourself off and try again. So using it to push you forward, using your past to help your future and to add to your worth rather than depict your worth, rather than saying, yeah, this is who I am. This always happens to me. I always go through this. Life is just this, and I'm saying it very lightly, but I do understand that when you're in it, that's how you feel. But it takes some grit. It takes some gut to be like, no, I'm standing my ground. And yeah, this happened. And yeah, something might happen again. And yeah, this other situation may end up happening next year or the year after. But right now, what happened yesterday, I'm not going to let deter me from what I want to see my future be, what I want to actually accomplish, what I want to actually achieve, becoming who I know God has called me to be. Shame loves to like whisper very seductively that you're your mistake and that you're stuck, but grace says, I really don't care about what you did. I'm here now and I'm going to help you get through the now. God's not ashamed of your past. God doesn't care about your past. He knows what happened, right? He knows exactly what it was. Don't feel like you're ever too dirty to come to him. First of all, don't feel like you've done too much that you can't lay it all at his feet. Don't ever feel like you've done too much and that you've done so many bad things that you can not become what you dreamed of becoming as a little child. Don't feel like you've done so much and it's so bad that your heart's desire can never come to pass, that you cannot be blessed. Don't feel like God will be shocked by, what has happened, or he knows what happened. And the one thing that you are hiding and the one thing that you're probably ashamed about, or the one thing that you don't want to share. And I know it's hard to share. And in the right space and the right timing, sharing is good. But that one thing that you don't want to share, those things, those skeletons you don't want to talk about, is sometimes the one thing that God will use for your glory and his glory. That's the one thing that he will use your story to make your future and to make your present beautiful and bright. Sometimes it just feels like we're in something ourselves. Just like it's just us going through something. And we don't realize how much our stories, our past situations can help others. But we have to get into that right frame of mind first that, hey, I'm not what happened to me. This happened, but it doesn't depict who I am. So when we believe that first, now we're able to help other people going through similar things and be like, hey, you know what? You might not believe it because you see me now, but I went through that. I went through that last year. I actually went through that 10 years ago. In fact, see the pictures, see the storyline. You see this person here who, yeah, this person did this, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, however you're led to share, but your past isn't meant to keep you down. Your past isn't meant to depict your future, but you can use the very thing that you may be ashamed about to help somebody else and to actually help your own future. But you first need to understand that you're not the thing that happened to you. And I keep repeating it because I want you to get it. You're not that thing that happened to you. And because that thing happened to you does not make you any less valuable. There was a speaker that was giving a demonstration one time, and he held $100 bill. I think it was $100. Well, it was like this bill. Let's assume it was $100 bill. And he held it up and he said, "Does anybody want this?" And lots of people was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And he called a lady up, and I might be getting the story mixed up a little bit, but you guys will get the point. He called a lady up and he held out his $100 bill and he's like, "Do you want this?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then he crumbled it up. And he's like, "Do you still want it?" And she said, "Yeah." And then he threw it on the ground and he said, "Do you still want it?" And she said, "Yeah." And he stepped on it and stomped on it and just did the most dramatic demonstration. And she said, and he held it up and he's like, "Do you still want it?" And she said, "Yes." And then he said, "That's how God sees us." So we might be like that $100 bill or whatever bill that was, that we feel like we're so dirty and we can't do anything and nobody wants us and we can't add value and we have no worth. That lady still wanted that $100 bill because no matter how trampled up that was, no matter how much he stepped on it, crumpled it up, it still held its value. How much more us who are made in God's image, who have been made with a purpose, who have been called here, who has to fulfill destiny. How much more of us? How much more us? No matter how crumpled up your past, how dirty, how muddy, how bad it was. And I mean, how bad. It does not matter what happened. God still wants you. You're still been sent here with a purpose. You still add value. You still have value. You're still blessed. You're still wanted. You're still needed because He created you. So I'm going to say it again for like the 30th time. You're not your past. You're not your mistake. You're not what you've been through. You are so much more. Let your past help you to help yourself move forward. Let your past help you to embrace who you're becoming. Let your past help you to help others. But do not be stuck in your past. Do not be stuck in shame. Do not be stuck in guilt and condemnation and all those stuff. Know that you are worthy and you are here on your own journey that may not look like anybody else's, but you're here with a purpose and God has a plan for your life. So I'm going to end it there. Go and be great. Embrace your journey and just get out of that rut. Do whatever it takes. Be intentional about getting out of that rut and embracing what's ahead of you. It's going to get better and your future is bright.